particular, yeah, but
Right, so if you flip it over. Right, that clips off.
yeah, this one, this
Yeah,
one, yeah.
they just clip off. Yeah, the ashtray. Because I want the ashtray panel as well. The ashtray comes out. They just unclip. You just literally spool them. And how does the ashtray come out? Yeah, that just pulls out.
You can see it's got like a structural things on it. Yeah, we want to get shine and polished. So just a flat little bit and put some addition on it, and then after we're gonna wax some primer. After we get dry, we're gonna just get that flatted down.
Okay, is that going to be plastic primer to?
Yeah, like some kind of layer we can wax before we put primer to get better contact. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it doesn't flake off later on.
Yeah. Yes. So now just a matter of another stuff, you know, wax with some stuff to keep it shine or clean, and then fat. We're gonna sanding down everything else, and very good.
So we're getting all like the contamination of all the old cleaning agents and grease and stuff off of it. Okay. So what grade paper are you using?
That's the 400 on a sponge, which is really good because it sticks to the whole surface.
Yeah.
And then it's very nice to work with. Yeah. And we want to get everything flattened down, especially corners, because then, for example, this bit gonna come over. We don't want to chip, so the edge is very important all around. So what usually people do, they don't care about the edges. So when the lacquer or surface we're gonna spray in the paint gonna chip, it's always chipping on the corners, on the edges. So if you look at the car, any bumper or wing or door being sprayed, you always look in the edges where the trims are and frames. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And you can spot some places because it's hard to flat it down.
Yeah, the bits that are difficult to get at.
Yeah. It's like a plastic adhesion.
Yeah.
So after we flat the old surface down properly, like it's not shine and no dirt on it, we're gonna wax some stuff before we put some primer coat on it. Yeah.
So that's basically what makes the paint stick to plastic.
Stick more well. Yeah. You can of course spray without this if you just flat down very properly, because that plastic ain't gonna be, it's not so soft like it's gonna move for.
Right. So flaking is not going to be a massive problem with this particular type of plastic.
Yeah, but it's always to make it good, and then to take it long, you need to do that stuff. Yeah. Just a small thin hose to make it look like it's wet.
Okay, so you don't need a lot of that on there?
No, you don't need that much, just a little bit. As you can see now, it's started drying really fast because it's fast drying. And then we can go to another stage. One new one, which is spray that bumper. This is a very easy way to stick a panel.
Yeah, so then
We can use cup or anything.
and that holds the panel onto
Yes.
the plastic cup.
Yes, and then we can just.
And that one doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, because that bit is starting
But
out.
show us the one, show us the other one.
That's not a problem. Now we're gonna just stick a little bit on the side and then stick that on. And then now it should stick. Other bit. Like that.
Oops, sorry, there's something moving the camera around here. That's brilliant.
But just on this little bit because we ain't
So
gonna
that
use.
now, may I?
Yeah.
Okay, so that now, that is brilliant. So you can paint the panel without having to hold the panel, or you can paint the panel while it's sitting on your bench, but it's not right down on the bench. That's a brilliant little tip. That is excellent. Okay, now we've got a bottle of stuff over here that says C10, or CS10. Let's just get in on that. Rocket fuel.
Rocket fuel.
Right now, I'm guessing that that's not rocket fuel.
Not for drinking, it's not rocket fuel. Just a name to make it like it's tough stuff. And this is very good for fast drying. Yeah, you can add that into clear coats, into primer, or anything you want to get dry fast.
So it makes the paint dry quicker?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, but you need to put just a tiny bit, just a small drop.
Okay.
You don't want to put that too much, like.
Otherwise it makes it dry too quick.
You got a nice bottle with the cap, so before you use, you just squeezing the bottle, a little bit, tiny bit going over the bottle, and you can get and you got measure.
Yep.
So you can just squeeze it and then take as much as you can.
And you mustn't drink it.
You can.
Right, okay. I've already drunk some of that. Whoops. Earlier. Okay, so this is just normal. Is this primer filler?
Yeah. Thick primer filler. Just get all small tips and dips. That's the brand of that primer. I recommend to use that primer. It's very good.
It's good.
Some of them cheap ones are.
Are you plugging a company here?
Oh, you were talking with the can of Pepsi not long ago. Yeah. Yeah, so its ratio is 4:1.
4:1, okay. And that's is that 2K? 2K?
Yeah.
Right. So there's several types of paint. I was going to do a video on paint, never got round to it. But there's several types. Originally it was cellulose, wasn't it, in the what I call the good old days.
I think there's someone. I can handle it, that table, sorry.
No, that's alright, that's cool. You'll be surprised.
I'm just telling to everyone, because that job is about like very fast mess coming up. It's like your mother-in-law going to visit you and you need to make a cake and you don't care about him. Yeah, we can make a little bit thicker because that surface we've got on the plastic, it's like we want to get some primer to cover.
So we're making it a little bit...
Yeah, thicker. It depends how much thinner you're going to put on it. It's making like...
Do you find sometimes you kind of mix the paint by kind of instinct, feel, experience? Or do you always mix?
With primer you can just add a little bit, you don't have to look at it, but you need to keep to the ratio.
You need to...
Yeah, you need to, because when you put too much hardener, it can cause some cracks in the future.
Oh, right.
So it's like drying and it's hard, but somehow needs to be a soft, a little bit of it. Yeah, because all material is moving, and it's plastic. It's not like solid, hard, like it's not moving at all.
Right. Okay. So there's got to be some sort of flex in the paint.
Exactly. That's correct. Yeah, always use the funnel, because it doesn't matter if you buy the can or you got a can somewhere on the side, you always can have some mess in it. And if you prepare it very fine a surface, you don't want to get any dirt.
So the funnel takes all the crap out?
Yes.
All the dirt? Oh, that's cool. So you put the pot,
into a
plastic pot straight.
This is actually my creation. That's what I just stick, that lid.
Okay.
Because I don't have to clean it after, I can just throw it away.
That's brilliant. Makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, more professional, looks like almost the same, but you got stuff in the bag, plastic bag. So you...
Wow.
Okay.
Now I'm just going to keep out the way now, because obviously 2K paint, you don't want to be breathing it in.
Yes.
Everybody wears the gloves nowadays. We'll start thinking about expanding. When you're doing your banger racing?
Yeah, he cooperated with Costa Coffee, so. Oh, it's for me? Yes.
Hey guys, meet Nick. Cars with Scars. Say hi.
Whoa. I'm going to use that stuff.
Camera won't focus, here we go.
Yep.
Dry, what's that called? Dry guide clear black, coat black.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, what is that?
Very regular to that what your wives and ladies adding on the face. But we're gonna do that with our panels. So what happened when we wax some primer, as thick as is, the structure getting like, you know, rough. As you can see over here, if you get closer. And that powder, while we're gonna flat this down, will show us where we need to flat more to make it nice, smooth surface.
Okay,
so what you're gonna do is just apply on the places you're gonna sound.
So you just wipe that on?
Yeah, to cover with that powder. Powder will go on any pores and small hoses. So anything gonna left you don't want to, you're gonna see it very easily. And then
there's another hot tip.
yeah, which is really good because especially when you're doing wet sanding, water going through all over around can make it difficult to look how surface is, and then you need to get dry and make it look closer to see if everything being flat down properly. Yeah, like it is. And again, we're going to use that sponge 400 because we don't want to waste time to flat it down with 800 like a final grid of paper. So first we're going to just sand it down a little bit with 400, and as you can see over here now, that what I was talking about, you can see the powder is still in the hole. So as soon as you flat it down more, you will get one color of surface.
Takes the powder out.
Yeah, and this is what we want, yeah? To get that with the 400. After we finish with 400, we're going to carry on wet sanding 800 or 1000.
That is very handy for helping with the flatting.
Yeah, yeah, you can see everything. Need to be careful on the edges to not stick paper too much. What I did over here, a little bit over some, cut through. We can fix that by waxing some primer just before spraying. liquid one just to cover up.
Okay.
So you don't have to flat that down.
You don't have to re-prime and re-flat and wait for it to dry.
Yeah.
That's a trick I remember doing. When your paper gets clogged up, if you ping it, it just knocks all the dust out of it.
Yep. Yeah, that happens when you're doing dry sanding. So you can change the paper all over the time and then keep it clean because it's stuck. And the paper doesn't take long to be same performance at the beginning. Of course, for this powder, you don't have to buy powder, but it's good to use. You can also use some different color aerosol, like black matte.
Right.
Yeah, to just wax a tiny dust coat on it, so it will cover everything else.
Right. Is that the same when you're doing a larger panel, they spray like a dust coat of black over the panel? That's the same thing, yeah?
It's very make it easy life, so you don't have to, you know, keep checking in if all surface been platted down properly. Because after you wax some color and clear coat, if you look closer, you can see that. Now we got wet platting with the 800 grit with water.
So that's just water.
Yeah, just
nothing
the
in,
water.
no like soapy.
No.
No, just water and 800 wet and dry.
Yeah.
I notice you rub your hands over it there, so you use feel as well as sort of looking at it. Feel the smoothness of the
Yeah,
paint.
especially on the big panels when you're doing, and then to finish. Because one thing, if you still got some dents on panels, big panels, you won't feel it sometimes. You need to just look at it, and then when you flat down the primer and dry it, it got a little bit polish reflection, and then reflect the lights, so you can look on the angle and then see if the surface is straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the oldest trick in the book, and it is look along the car.
Yeah.
Look down.
Not looking in front of your car,
Yeah.
because you're never going to spot anything, any issue. You need to just look closer to the edge, so
look,
the
look
light
down the
reflection.
side of the car, then all the dents and ripples stand out.
Liquid coat of primer to cover all those black.
When you say liquid, you mean a very wet.
Yeah, very wet, so we ain't gonna
very lots of thinners.
Yeah, a lot of thinners, so it's liquid, so ain't gonna happen like this. Like you got rough surface.
Yeah.
The surface is gonna be smooth.
So the first coat of primer was quite a thick coat, a lot of primer, very little thinners.
Yes.
To get the coverage.
Yep.
And then the next coat that goes on is going to be quite a lot of thinners, not so much primer, so that when it goes on it flows out more and gives you a
dust coat.
Yeah, gives you what we call a wet finish, which means the paint flows and lays a lot better on the console. Would you say that's the best way of describing it?
Yeah, you can.
So what we're doing here is just wetting the floor down.
Make it wet here, so when you walk, you don't make any dust and fly over. That's the only thing, easiest thing you can do to make it panel straight right. And then before spray and after you prepare everything, you can just leave the place for a little while. So everything gonna go down, and then slowly you can come in. Not mean like a slowly in slow motion, but slowly tonight, not move any motion, not move any stuff.
Yeah.
And in really dirty place, you can spray panels, and they can come up very well quality. This is the same thing, panel wipe.
Panel wipe again.
Spray.
Yep.
We want to get rid of it, all water. We don't want water.
Water's not good.
Spray. And that'll be good thing. Gonna pull out when we're gonna spray with the pressure. All kind of things, so you're gonna see the changes.
So we're going to use a little air gun for the wet primer.
Now, as you can see, it's very liquid.
Yeah, very.
And
So
what do we need just to cover up those black?
Right. So what kind of mix is that? That's.
I just use my eye.
Yes.
I didn't stick to ratio or something. I just want to make a.
Yep. Roughly.
Roughly, make it dark.
That is very neat.
With paper. Yeah, anything you can spot that you need to fill up, you can flat this down, and then after you can just wax a very thin coat of primer on it.
Okay. Takes very little paint inside that.
I bought that another one. It got small jars. Those are more like artistic one, like doing drawing.
The model things. Yeah.
A couple of times happened to me, and it's really movie I did in Alaska. I told you I was using a couple of cameras. Yeah, I need to use that. Or any color, we need to make sure to put wet coat, because when you're gonna put a lot of coats with the dry, we can build a structural thing, like it's like a hammer thing effect or something, like those hammerite paints.
Yeah,
we don't wanna,
orange peel type of thing.
Yeah, we want a smooth surface.
So
I'm gonna wax few coats of wet to give a good cover, and then after I'm gonna just wax few dusty coats to make like nice flaky effect.
Yep, gotcha. Yeah, so put on a couple of kind of heavy coats to get the colour on there. Yes. This is the silver that's going on. And then we do a couple of wet coats so that we don't get that kind of orange peel or hammered effect.
Stick down to get dry surface, but you need to be very careful to not get burned, because once you do that, you can make like a very visible patch after you spray, and you won't be very easy
to get rid of.
With waxing some more coat.
So you end up having to paint the whole thing again. So that's the colour coat on, yeah?
Yeah, we are nearly done. Once we dry these things up, we're gonna wax maybe one or two coat of like a dust coat.
Yeah.
To make it like more flaky.
Okay.
So when the sun light up, it will be nice, shiny. And like I said, make it like a motion all over the place, the panel to get dry.
I tell you what, I always love the smell of warm paint.
Yeah, some people like petrol.
Yeah.
One of those personal I am.
Yeah, so you can tell like warm paint, you can always kind of tell that smell.
It's not good, but Just from time to time, yeah. Other thing about the lights, metallic colors is especially silver. Like when you waxing color on it, you need to make sure like everywhere is the same sand. Like when you're doing wet, it needs to be everywhere wet. Yeah. Because once you do that, you got nice shiny color. Otherwise, you can get like a foggy things, patches, and other things. When the lights will go on that panel, but I think we're going to be good.
I'll try and keep that out of your way. I don't want to disturb the dust too much. No drying time between the colour coat and the clear coat?
Once I prepare a gun and then mix some clear, that thing's gonna dry for sure.
Okay.
Because I put some dust coat and the dust coat will dry very fast.
Right.
Actually,
so the silver will be pretty much dry by the time you mixed up the clear coat to go on.
You don't have to be very, very sure about dry because that's the solvent. And it's based on the same stuff as the clear coat, so you don't have to worry about it. Like if it's going to be wet, but that can cause like a little bit change in the color. Right. So it needs to be like nice and smooth and dry enough you can touch it with the fingertip.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, when I talk about water-based paints, you need to be bloody sure like it's dry, because once it goes with the reaction, it's going to react and crack, and then it's going to cause
because now they use a water-based colour, don't they, and then put
the plenty of companies
2K clear over the top of it.
Yeah. And you need to make sure, because water with thinners, they can cause problems. So once you do that, I'm using this lacquer. It's a pretty good one, and the price is pretty alright for it.
What sort of prices is lacquer nowadays?
For a hardener, and because you're getting like a set, a hardener and lacquer, need to spend around 80 quid for that's the 5 liter, 5 liter plus 2.5, because it's ratio 2:1. So you around to get a good one, you need to spend like between 80 and 100 quid.
And that gives you 5 litres?
7.5 liter of lacquer, because when you mix together, you're using a little bit thinner, so always you can make a little bit more, but you want to make it thick enough so no runs come up.
And how much of a car will 7.5 litres paint?
Oh, you will spray a whole car for sure with the 7.5 liter. You're gonna have a pretty long time if you do small repairs, but you need to make sure like to keep it dry and then pretty warm place. Right. Because when you keep it cold, the hardener can get
goes off.
Yeah, it goes off, and they can dry. I got some mobile stuff I was using, and what I told you, I went to 150, 270. 150 was 150 plus tough mathematics. Too much figures sometimes. Yeah, those cups are pretty nice because you've got ratio, like you can pick whatever ratio you've got it. But I'm always using like a scale, like milliliters.
So you prefer the scale?
Yeah, I'm putting like 100.
I don't know if that's going to focus on that.
But that's the opposite. When you're looking through the cup, you can see the right way. And we're gonna put that magic stuff.
Okay, so this is the stuff that makes it go
Yeah,
dry
and
quicker.
as you can see, I'm just putting few drops.
Right.
You don't need
so
too
you don't
much.
need much of that at
The
all.
less you put, it's better.
Okay, that's
I've
cool.
seen people, they just throwing like buckets of that, which is ridiculous. No, you don't want that. You want just a tiny bit, and seriously, it works very fast.
Okay.
Stir.
Do I need to leave the console like for a couple of days to fully harden before putting it back in?
When we put heat on it, after a few hours, it's ready to flat it down and then polished if it's needed. If not, you can just after a few hours put already on it. But it's good to leave over the night.
Yeah.
First, give a nice bake when it's sun. That's the cheapest, easiest way. Yeah.
Yeah.
To put under sun, and then if you have a red lamp, you don't want to use any heat gun or something, because once you use the heat gun, it can some pieces can fall off on the surface you spray. You don't want that, so you want to just use radiation heat.
Yeah.
Without any air.
Just sort of natural heat.
Yes. Spray.
Okay, just do a few test sprays.
Yes. All right, job done.
Job done, good one. You happy with it, Nick?
Yeah, very. Looks very nice.
Any type of custom work? Yeah?
Yeah, all different things. We do a lot for Range Rover for changing the bumpers and stuff, and badges. Do all sorts of bits.
That thing is screwing.
I don't think it really needs it, to be honest.
Oh, it's nice.
That does. That's
What
good.
I want to do with my project is like one.
Well, guys, I'd like to say thank you to Nick and to I've forgotten your name again.
Darius.
I will remember his name. He's drinking coffee again. It's all he's. It wasn't really him
Keep
doing
it
the
down.
paint work. He was just drinking.
My eyes. This is Monday, guys. Don't forget that. We did that Monday. That's
Nick,
crazy.
Yeah.
Nick needs loads of coffee. He's a bit hungover.
Yeah, I'm not
today.
feeling too very well today.
So a great thanks to Nick for doing the centre console for
Captain
us.
Morgan can explain a little bit more about that, how he looked like.
Yeah, he spiced out this time for me, didn't he?
We'll be back in a few weeks to get that rust scab done I was talking about, and we're going to be doing some other projects together, aren't we?
Yes, a few
So,
bits.
yeah.
Few
So
little customisation jobs.
yeah, we're going to try and bring you one video a month, Cars with Scars specials, tell you more about paintwork, what to look for in paintwork, or anything you want to know about body and paint, we're going to share with you. Yeah, brilliant, lovely. And we'll also, you'll be able to get your products and your supplies from Cars with Scars as well. So if you want to try little projects yourself and you want to know where to get the stuff, you can get it right here. Okay guys, the next step is obviously I'm going to be putting the centre console back in. That's probably going to be tomorrow now. So I'll catch you a little later on when we start doing that. Love it. Love the glasses, Red, and the coffee.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
We got nice weather.
Oh,
Enjoy.
Before we finish this section, we're just going to go and have a look at a little project that
I've run on, yeah.
Yep.
Which can be very interesting for you guys.
So we'll be following that.
Could probably
as
do a
well.
little competition of actually guessing what it actually started life as.
Yeah, that's that's a good point. We're going to show you this in a minute. Okay, if you think you know what this started life as, drop it in the comments box and let us know. We'd love to see what you think it's going to, and what you think it's going to end up as.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go and have a look at it. Thanks again to Nick, and I'll see you in a little while when we put the centre console back in.
Thank you very much.
See you guys later.
See you later.
This is the beast. Here you go, guys. So, in the comments box, what do you think this started life out as? And this is your little project.
Yeah, that's my project. I'm working on it.
Okay, so we'll bring you when we do the monthly Cars with Scars videos. We'll bring you updates on this.
From time to time.
How it's coming along. Look at that cardboard pad.
Pretty nice big engine in it. So
4 litre.
4 litre, yeah, V6.
4 litre V6
And then just a small step-by-step
project.
going on that project. And after we come back garage, I can show you some drawings I did, which could be very terrifying maybe if you met me on the road. The things I'm gonna build on it.
Okay,
Right?
that's cool.